Nice job. Okay.
He's a character.
Are we going to be quiet for the story?
Yeah.
I really need you to be quiet, guys. There was once a miller who was poor, but he had a beautiful daughter. Okay? This poor book. Shh. One day he came to speak with the king and boasted that his daughter could spin gold out of straw. The king said to the miller, "If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to my castle tomorrow so she can prove it." You know what? The back of the book's all messed up. Okay. When the girl was brought to the king, he led her into a room full of straw and gave her a wheel and a spindle. "Now set to work," he said, "and if by the early morning you have not spun the straw to gold, you shall die." And he shut the door and left her there alone. Is that good?
No.
No, not so good. Can you spin gold from straw?
No.
And neither could she. The poor miller's daughter was left there sitting. She had no idea how to spin gold from straw, and her distress grew so great that she began to weep. All at once the door opened, and in came a little man. "Good evening, miller's daughter. Why are you crying?" "Oh," answered the girl, "I have to spin gold out of straw, and I don't know how." "What will you give me if I spin it for you?" the little man asked. "My necklace," said the girl. Lucky thing she was wearing the necklace. The little man took the necklace, seated himself before the wheel, and whirr, 3 times round, and the bobbin was full. Then he took up another, and whirr, 3 times around, and that was full. And so he went on until morning, when all the straw had been spun and all the bobbins were full of gold. At sunrise the king came in, and when he saw the gold, he was astonished and very happy, for he was an extremely greedy man. What does greedy mean, you guys?
Me. Like
Nope.
he's greedy for money. He wants all the money.
He wants more, huh? Exactly.
Like Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob.
He took the miller's daughter into another room filled with straw. It was much bigger than the first one, and he told her that if she valued her life, she must spin all the straw into gold in one night. The girl did not know what to do, so she began to cry. Well, the door opened, and in came the little man. "What will you give me if I spin all this straw into gold?" he asked. "The ring from my finger," said the girl.
I've seen this before. Me too. Yeah.
I've seen this.
You guys don't ruin it for people that haven't. So the little man took the ring and began again to send the wheel whirring around. By the next morning, all the straw had been spun into glistening gold. The king was happy beyond measure at the sight, but he could never have enough gold. So he took the miller's daughter into an even bigger room full of straw. This too must be spun in one night. Travius, stop talking. Okay? "And if you accomplish this, you shall be my wife." Although she was only a miller's daughter, he thought he was not likely to find anyone richer in the whole world.
What about Abraham Lincoln? He's rich.
He's not born yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, it's a fairy tale. As soon as the girl was alone, the little man appeared for the 3rd time. "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you this time?" he asked. "I have nothing left to give," answered the girl. "Then you must promise me the first child you have after you are queen," said the little man. "Who knows whether that will happen," thought the girl. So she promised the little man, and he began to spin until all the straw was gold. In the morning the king came, and when he found everything done according to his wish, he ordered that the wedding be held at once, and the miller's daughter became a queen.
It's not over.
It's not over, hold on. In a year's time, because remember, what does she have to give up?
The baby.
Her first child, yes. So let's see what happens. In a year's time, she brought a fine child into the world, and she thought no more of the little man. Then one day he suddenly appeared in the garden. "Now give me what you promised me," he said. Well, the queen was terrified. She offered the little man all the riches of the kingdom if he would only leave the child. "No," he said, I would rather have something living than all the treasures of the world." Then the queen began to weep, and the little man had pity on her. "I will give you 3 days," he said, "and if at the end of that time you cannot tell me my name, you must give up the child to me." Had he ever told her what his name was? So this might be a little tricky. The queen spent the whole night thinking over all the names she had ever heard. She sent a messenger through the land to ask far and wide for all the names that could be found. And when the little man came the next day, she repeated all the names she knew, beginning with Casper, Melchior, Balthazar. She went through the whole list, but after each one the little man said, "That's not my name."
Go.
You think?
Yeah.
The second day, how many days does she have?
3.
So the second day the queen sent the messenger to find out what all the servants were called, and she told the man the most unusual names. "Perhaps you are called roast ribs," she asked, "or sheepshanks, or spindleshanks." But he answered nothing except, "That is not my name." You think she's getting worried?
Yeah.
She's got how many days left?
One more day.
One more day.
Rumplestiltskin.
The third day, the messenger came back again. "I have not been able to find one single new name," he said, "but as I passed through the woods, I came to a high hill, and near it was a little house. Before the house burned a fire, and round the fire danced a comical little man who hopped on one leg and cried, 'Today I bake, tomorrow I brew, the day after that the queen's child comes in. And oh, I'm glad that nobody knew that my name I am called is Rumplestiltskin.'"
She can know now.
Let's see what happens. You can imagine how pleased the queen was to hear this. Soon afterward, the little man walked in. "Now, Mrs. Queen," he said, "what is my name?" "Are you called Jack?" she asked. "No," he answered. "Are you called Harry?" she asked. "No," he answered. Then she said, "So perhaps your name is," everybody say it,
Rumplestiltskin.
"Ah, the devil told you that! The devil told you that!" cried the little man. And in his anger, he stamped his right foot so hard that it went right into the ground above his knee. Then he seized his left foot with both his hands in such a fury that he split in two, and that was the end of him.
Yay! 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 Yay!
And the queen lived
Happily ever after.
Nice job, you guys.